Yeah, I saw that.
Branding matters. Branding matters. Viewers and listeners, like and share the show. Like and share the show. Oh, we're live on Twitter. I'm seeing that, Judah. Are we live on LinkedIn?
Yep.
Oh, fantastic, Judah. Are we live on YouTube?
Checking it now.
Oh, Judah Wickhauer's on point today. We are live on YouTube. I'm seeing it going up on live. Oh, viewers and listeners asking us why YouTube is not live. We're getting it live. We apologize. A little late start for us today. I have a very important conference call at 1:15 p.m. with some clients who are looking to scale their business and scale their business with a commercial purchase. So it's going to be a shorter show today. As the call is not just important for the clients, but important for our organization and how we make our living. I want to talk on today's program some food and beverage news. My wife loves when we talk food and beverage. The Ivy Inn and Jack Brown's are recognized nationally. Ginny Who, we didn't get to this story yesterday, so we'll get to it today. The Virginia religious homeschool exemptions, whether they are good or bad. And I'm going to ask the viewers and listeners this question. If Scottsville, the town of Scottsville, sheds its town status, is the future of Scottsville, Virginia, the current iteration of Crozet today? Crozet, it's got some good about it. It's got some concerns about it. And a lot of those concerns with Crozet are tied to development and density and growth, and unchecked growth as it applies to infrastructure matching growth. Is that why Scottsville should cling to its town status? Because once it loses its governance, its independence from Albemarle County, is its future one of just obscene density, like an old trail at Scottsville? A lot of topics we're going to cover on the show, including the Waffle House, a 50-cent per egg surcharge. So much to cover on the show. Which headline, Judah, most intrigues you as we get rocking and rolling?
That 50-cent egg surcharge is a lot, and it's crazy.
Per egg?
Yeah. And it's crazy seeing the prices of a dozen eggs these days.
My wife's been talking about that for a month and change.
I bet.
A month and change. I hope she's watching the program. We're going to talk about grocery shopping and eggs today. All right, Judah, we can rock and roll when you're ready.
Quiet on the set.
Guys, welcome to the I Love CVille show. Good Wednesday afternoon. Thank you kindly for joining us. My name is Jerry Miller. It's a pleasure to connect with you guys on the I Love CVille show. You'll see my colleague Judah Wickhauer here in a matter of moments as he shares his perspective quite often on the program. Judah Wickhauer should get some props and attention for all he does behind the scenes as the director of our flagship program, the I Love CVille show. A lot I want to cover on today's show. 850 people laid off in Danville, Virginia. Travis Hackworth, thank you for sending us this story. It's a story that you can also find on Cardinal News. They do a good job of covering southwestern Virginia and Southside Virginia. 850 jobs cut at a Goodyear Danville plant. We'll put that in perspective for you. And I want to try to tie that story into Charlottesville and Central Virginia and how we are very diversified from an employment standpoint, from an employer standpoint. I want to talk on today's program, the Waffle House, a very known commodity, well-known commodity in this community. 2 Waffle Houses, Judah, to be exact, in the Charlottesville area. One down 5th Street Extended. If you want to get into some serious trouble, go down 5th Street Extended to the Waffle House on a Friday or Saturday night in that 3 a.m. vicinity, and you'll see some things at the Waffle House. You'll see some things at that specific location that you never thought you would ever see in your life in Charlottesville, Virginia. I will relay a firsthand story of yours truly being in that Waffle House around 3:30 in the morning, fearing for my life, our friends fearing for their lives as well. A lot we're going to cover on today's program, folks. We will talk a 50-cent per egg surcharge. Now on the record, Waffle House telling its customers, you eat eggs at our breakfast joint, we're going to tack on an extra 50 cents per egg to your bill. And I'm going to ask you this question. The volatility with cost of goods, is that going to yield dynamic pricing across every sector of business? We're seeing dynamic pricing in grocery stores. We're seeing dynamic pricing with the Woodard Properties parking lots around the city of Charlottesville, most notably the one off Water Street that has garnered a lot of attention with customers saying, hey, we're getting charged a $30 all-day fee when demand is high. I want to unpack that story on today's program. I want to talk on today's show a topic for Ginny Who, which we didn't get to yesterday, the Virginia religious homeschool exemption, whether it's good or bad. Judah, you set the table for us on that one. Also on today's show, we'll give some props to the Ivy Inn and to Jack Brown's earning national recognition. I'll highlight a topic that was sent to us by Deep Throat, the Elysian in the shops of Stonefield. I kid because I care. And the shops of Stonefield have 120 units currently vacant. 120. There's also a number of units that are vacant. Deep Throat has passed along our way in Dairy Central, the luxury apartments on Preston Avenue. We've highlighted on this program a softening in luxury apartments in this community. We'll talk daily progress. How about this for a story? You ready for this? A newspaper cannot print its newspaper. A newspaper, Judah, currently is unable to print its newspaper. Mm-hmm. A microcosm of so much with the daily progress. We'll highlight that story on today's show. I'm going to ask you, the viewer and listener, this question. The town of Scottsville is struggling from a budget standpoint, from a revenue standpoint. It's struggling with, frankly, civic engagement. And the new guard in Scottsville, I'm talking the young millennials, the Gen Zers, the folks moving to the area that may have been priced out of the city of Charlottesville or the urban ring of Albemarle County, they are saying we should shed our town status and just, heck, wave the white flag and migrate into Albemarle County and tell Albemarle County we don't want governance and independence anymore. The old guard of Scottsville is saying, are you effing crazy? If we shed our town status and we lose our independence, our future, you know what it's going to look like? Just look at Crozet. That's our future. They'll ramrod an old trail development into the town of Scottsville. At least right now, we can control the density in some capacity. I want to have that topic or discuss that theme on today's program. On today's program, we are going to talk your ideas. We want to be the water cooler of conversation, ladies and gentlemen. A handful of today's topics crowdsourced by viewers and listeners, and that's what we want with the show. We want to crowdsource topics, your ideas. Bill McChesney, welcome to the program. We work hard for you. The only thing we ask in return is if you hit the like button and share the show. That's the only thing I've ever asked the viewer and listener, is like and share the show. Bill has done that. Deep Throat, we'll get to some of your comments already. Philip Dow in Scottsville. Today's show is tailor-made for you. Randy O'Neill. Patty Wawote on the I Love CVille group watching the program. If I messed up your last name, which I probably did, I apologize. And John Blair, welcome to the show. Judah Wickower, which headline, as we weave you into the program and get ready to highlight Charlottesville Sanitary Supply, which headline intrigued you the most today and why?
50 cent per egg surcharge is quite a lot.
At a breakfast joint.
Yeah. But, I mean, these places have to do something if they want to stay in business.
Exactly right. And that's why I'm going to make the argument that cost of goods volatility is going to yield dynamic pricing or surge pricing in every sector of business. As the technology enables businesses to change menus in real time, surge pricing is not just a scary possibility, but it's an actuality. I'll share some firsthand perspective. My wife on Monday of this week sent me this text message. I know I keep telling you about this, Jerry. Maybe it's something you want to talk about on the show, but I bought 36 eggs at Wegmans on Monday for the family, a 36-pack. Maybe that's two 18-packs. I don't know. I haven't been grocery shopping in a little while. And she said, the cost of those 36 eggs are almost $12. Nearly $12 for 36 eggs at the grocery store. The eggs have almost been a bellwether for Biden's success, Trump's success, Biden collateral damage, Trump solution, or lack thereof. The reality is the cost of eggs are tied to a number of things. It's tied to, you want to put in perspective what we were talking about previously? What's the flu that's going around with the birds and the eggs?
The bird flu.
And the bird flu ain't what our kids have around Charlottesville. Good God, is everyone sick? My wife said, we just need to hose all of Charlottesville and Albemarle County down. Kids are sick everywhere. It's following people around. And speaking of the Waffle House, I'll tell a firsthand story of a perspective I had at Waffle House. And I'm throwing no shade at Waffle House. There's few businesses that are open when the bars let out in the city. One of the only businesses where you can get some pre-hangover food, the greasy food that keeps the hangover from happening, or if you close down the bars and you're super hungry, you go to the Waffle House on 5th Street Extended, you go to the Waffle House north of town. The Waffle House on 5th Street Extended I know very well. I lived at the Villas at Southern Ridge for 7 years, fresh out of college. I lived in Redfields for nearly 7 years after the Villas at Southern Ridge. So I spent about 14 years of my life down South Side Charlottesville, down 5th Street Extended. Know the Food Line extremely well, the Food Line Shopping Center really well, know the Waffle House extremely well. One night after my friends and I, single Jerry, I was a bachelor, closed the bars down, a group of us, guys and gals, decided to go to the Waffle House. We had a rager at Rapture, got after it at Rapture. Al Zappa was probably wearing shorts in the middle of winter while slinging drinks behind the bar at Rapture. If you know, you know. And we decided to close Rapture down, then we go to the Waffle House on 5th Street Extended. We're sitting there. I think I'm having a bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich and a tall glass of skim milk. Cue Judah's opportunity to give me a zinger on the skim milk.
I mean, I'm surprised you lived that dangerously back then.
I've been living on skim milk since I was like 4 years old. 3 years old. And next thing I know, we're in the Waffle House, ladies and gentlemen, minding our business, probably buzzed. And a straight up brawl breaks out inside the Waffle House. People picking up chairs, people ripping off the Formica countertops from the four-top booths.
Wow.
People throwing plates, glasses, and silverware, standing on tables. A brawl that spills to behind the line of Waffle House. Windows being shattered. Before you know it, the Albemarle County Police Station right down the street, probably a dozen Albemarle County rescue vehicles on site, trying to break up what realistically was maybe a 24 or 30 person brawl that we are literally right in the middle of. I'm sitting there eating my cheese eggs, my hash browns, and enjoying my skim milk while ducking and weaving and diving for mica countertops, glass cups, plates flying and whizzing next to my head and over my head and besides my head. One of the most dangerous situations I've ever been in. You want a glimpse of Charlottesville and Albemarle County that you've never seen before? Check out the Waffle House on a Friday or Saturday night after 3 a.m. I sincerely mean that.
I don't think that 5th Street one's been open for a few years now.
5th Street one is now a vape tobacco shop.
Yeah.
I guess you would have to go down, you're 100% right. I guess you'd have to go north of town. Maybe one of the
29.
reasons it's closed. But a perfect segue into cost of goods and the volatility with cost of goods. If you're if you're just a little guy, right? If you have a 1-unit restaurant, if you have a food truck, if you are just struggling to pay your bills and you see volatility with eggs and cost of goods like this, how can you not change your pricing in real time? And if you change your pricing in real time or from a day-to-day basis, is that not surge pricing?
I mean, it's been done for the longest time in restaurants in terms of...
Happy hour?
No. In terms of market price.
Seafood?
Seafood, sometimes steaks, depending on
Eggs are in everything.
Market price. Eggs are in quite a lot of stuff.
That's what I'm saying.
This is going to be bad, folks. It's not just going to be eggs at Waffle House. I mean, think about what the women watching probably know more about this than the men, I would imagine. But
Well, where are you going to go with this?
pretty much everything you bake, maybe not everything, but quite a lot of things that you bake, cakes, bread. I mean, eggs are in so much more than just your breakfast food. I would be surprised if this doesn't have an extremely wide-ranging impact.
Right. And that's my point. I just want to highlight the headwinds that F&B is facing. I mean, it's now getting to the point where I mean, we have commenters on the feed over here. Is it Janice Boyce Trevelyan, buy eggs locally? They are $4 to $5 a dozen. That's from Janice Boyce Trevelyan. 100% always inclined to shop local when you can. The convenience of going to Wegmans and picking up eggs, however, is something that should not be understated. Curtis Shaver, welcome to the program. Perfect topic for you, Curtis Shaver, with Jack Brown's, the Ivy Inn, and the massive brawl that happened at the White Spot with Formica countertops whizzing by earlobes at 3 a.m. in Southside Charlottesville.
White Spot or
at the Waffle House. Yeah. My point is this. They can't catch a break.
Yeah.
That's my point. You cannot catch a break if you're running a restaurant right now. You're dying the death of 1,000 cuts. Uber Eats, Grubhub, and these third-party delivery apps that are clearly been woven into the consumer behavior, they are baking it to a point where you're making next to no money with delivery. And that's how a lot of people want to eat, especially young millennials and Gen Zers. For those that are willing to go into your restaurant and eat, you can't find the labor to serve them. When you can find the labor to serve them, the labor is asking for an hourly rate that is unsustainable if you're a food and beverage business, which is unfortunate. Then your cost of goods, eggs, has gotten to the point where it's the highest in American history. Paper products. Take a look at what's happening with paper products. Toiletries and paper products with some of these restaurants. I had a conversation with a good client and a good friend, Ted Anderson of Anderson Seafood and Catering. Anderson's model is rent a space for a tent that they sit under no matter rain, sleet, snow, sun, wind, shine, and sell seafood out of coolers that have ice in them. Is that what we are looking at food and beverage wise? Is it a food truck, gotten to the point of food truck? Because eventually if you go to a restaurant and you see that the pricing is changing dynamically, surge pricing, or you see a tack-on fee, 50 cents for price per egg, $4, $5 for credit card transactions, right? A living wage fee, being charged for individual ramekins of sauce, ketchup, sweet and sour, or ranch. Charge for the third refill on something that was otherwise free for your entire life. You eventually ask the question, are we being penny pinched? But what you don't realize is the owners of said business are just trying to keep the lights on. And this is what they can do to survive. Mm-hmm. It is the death of 1,000 cuts. The business that says, no, I'm not going to offer Uber Eats, Grubhub, or third-party delivery. The business that says, no, I'm not going to take credit cards. And yes, I'm going to charge the full amount of what I think this sandwich or this steak or this chicken parm is worth. Is the business that on paper is maybe doing it the right way, but find a customer that will meet those standards. Waffle House is basically saying we can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
and you got other big box restaurants that have closed. Just take a look and do some Googling, folks. All right, I need to get to the next topic. Viewers and listeners, let us know your thoughts. Any perspective you want to offer on that, Judah Wickhauer?
I mean, it's going to be rough. Like you said, they've got small enough margins already, and they're getting penny pinched left, right, and center.
Right. Then you throw in the wrinkles like for the downtown ones with the parking lot we talked about with the surge pricing with the parking lot.
Yeah.
And the other headwinds that are I mean, it's just a kick in the fellas. It's a kick in the fellas is what it is. All right, the top topic on the show, outage preventing the daily progress. I want to spend about 45 or 60 seconds here. It's sadly ironic. It is just a sad storyline and a microcosm of the paper of record in our community. They've had an outage all week, Lee Enterprises, the parent company that's barely staying in business, Lee Enterprises. We're talking about one of the papers that owns Lee Enterprises, one of the outfits that owns pretty much all of Virginia's newspapers, including the newspaper here in Charlottesville, the Richmond Times-Dispatch, and a handful of others. They have had an outage issue all week, which is preventing them from printing the print product. Mm-hmm. The print product has already been chopped down to a few times per week. It's not even a daily offering anymore. Now the one that goes out a few times per week can't even make it to the few subscribers they have left.
They also can't do the what do they call it? E-print?
Yeah. The digital online layout of the print product cannot be posted on the website anymore. Right. They currently, right now, all week have been unable to charge people for digital subscriptions or prevent access to their digital content for non-subscribers. Mm. You have a business model that is basically, this is what's happened to the business model with the Daily Progress. It's a grocery store that has no one working in it. All the doors to the fridges open, the security cameras turned off, the cashiers not behind the cash registers, and the cash registers wide open with the cash sitting in the till. That's what the Progress is right now. I empathize for those that work there. We are a better community when we have content to read. Certainly this talk show is a better community when it has content to opine upon. But we're looking at a business that is on the brink of absolute collapse. All week long. We can't take your subscriptions online. We can't enforce the subscriptions if you don't have one. You can read all the content we have. We can't get you the newspapers that you paid for, that our advertisers are paying to be within. Jeez Louise. Next topic, Judah B. Wickhauer, what do you got?
Oh, let's see.
Oh, the Virginia religious schools, home exemption for Ginny Who?
Yeah.
You want to set the table for Ginny Who on that one?
I can try.
Deep Throat says, Jerry, but unlike the grocery store, the Daily Progress doesn't have any food anyhow.
Yeah.
Kicking them when they're down there, Deep Throat. You're kicking them when they're down. What's the who, what, when, where, why of the religious homeschool exemptions?
So what it comes down to is that Governor Youngkin has announced that no matter what, he is going to veto any attempt to get rid of a particular what would you call it? Law, ruling,
policy
that acts as an exemption for Virginia homeschoolers, particularly those using a religious, I don't want to say excuse, but
exemption. It's in the headline.
Sadly, what it comes down to in terms of what they're getting with this exemption is that they don't have to report any like educational benchmarks that their kids are going through the year. So, and Ginny can probably provide more information on this particular aspect. Normally, I believe if someone is homeschooling their children, they have they still have certain benchmarks they have to reach in terms of, the state knowing that those kids are actually getting an education, something that is exempted in this particular religious exemption. Sadly, what that means for kids is that people using this exemption are basically have no. There's nothing forcing them from actually teach their kids. Sadly, and so kids who have experienced this exemption are essentially coming forward and saying, "Look, we want to learn." But a lot of the parents, some of the parents, I'm not going to say all the parents, but some of the parents using this are basically just not teaching their kids, which means that those kids are left without any tools to survive life once they become adults.
All right, here's my take on this, and I just get straight to the point here. David Riddick is watching the program, his photo on screen. All pro homeschooling policies are good. We must have school choice, he says. That's David Riddick's words on LinkedIn. I'll offer this perspective here. The parents of children that are choosing to homeschool, these parents are often some of the most engaged, diligent, and have the most watchful eyes of their children in the best way possible. Having your kids home on the weekends is hard enough. Sending them to school is your adult recess during the day, your mental sanity break. Choosing to homeschool your offspring, you have the patience of Job and Mother Teresa. Do we think folks are gaming the system? Perhaps. Are those folks that are manipulating the system few and far between? Yes. The folks that I know that are homeschooling their kids are doing whatever humanly possible to maintain or ensure that their kids are performing at the standard or ahead of the standard of their public and private peers. There's almost a sense of guilt with the homeschool parent. Am I making the right decision? And it's such a great motivator or driver for those parents to have their kids overachieve. My take on it. And then my last take on this, the politics with schools and education, it has gotten to a nauseating crossroads. It's nauseating. I read today Sweetbriar. When I grew up, when I was coming through high school, Walsingham Academy, Williamsburg, Virginia, a lot of my classmates went to the all-girls school, Sweetbriar. A lot of my classmates went to the all-boys school, Hampton-Sydney. Hampton-Sydney, a fantastic private school. Sweetbriar, fantastic all-girls school. Hollins, another all-girls school. I read today on, was it Cardinal News, that Sweetbriar has new language in its admissions policy that, I'll read it verbatim because I don't want to misspeak on this topic. I'm calling the article up here. A few weeks before, and this is straight from Cardinal News Online, cardinalnews.org, great news site. A few weeks before the fall semester began this past August, Sweetbriar Women's College updated a small portion of text on its admissions website. Starting with the fall of 2025, Sweetbriar will no longer consider applicants who are non-binary or transgender. And when Sweetbriar changed this admissions policy or this admissions language, it did it in the most clandestine way possible. They did not notify students and their parents of this change. Students and the parents found out of this change while scouring a website where the text was very small and buried. And Sweetbriar said, oh, it doesn't impact the current student body. It only impacts candidates that are considering Sweetbriar. We're in a world today, I'm not going to make my commentary about transgender, non-binary, and Sweetbriar's choice to disallow transgender and non-binary students from applying to Sweetbriar. My commentary is not about that. My commentary is about today's world where politics and landmines are littered in the educational landscape. And it's to the demise of the students, because they're being played like pawns and used like guinea pigs by self-serving adults. Of course, Sweetbriar is going to use the argument, oh, we have to do this for the safety of our students, right? That's probably why they want no trans students to apply or non-binary students to apply. And I would push back on that. We've seen this topic become such a driver of the news cycle. Attorney General ordering UVA Health what to do. VCU Health what to do. Now an admissions policy at one of the most historic or institutional private schools for women in the Commonwealth. It's too much. It's too much.
Okay.
Next topic. What do you got?
Ivy Inn and Jack Brown's recognized nationally.
Give them the 4 or 5 sentence over here that came with this story.
Let's see. I believe that Ivy Inn was labeled one of the most romantic restaurants in Virginia, and Jack Brown's was named the best burger in Virginia.
Okay, I want to offer a couple of comments. Okay, first comment on Angelo's Ivy Inn. The Ivy Inn is extremely bona fide. One of the best dining experiences you will find in Central Virginia in the Commonwealth, period. Mm. If you have not had an opportunity to dine at the Ivy Inn, you're missing a culinary paradise. It's just a cornucopia of culinary delight. Jack Brown's is damn good. I personally love the Greg Brady. It's a fantastic burger. Love the ambiance, love the intimacy, love the charm, love the nostalgia. Maybe it's the 2025 version of Cheers on the downtown mall. One of Judah's favorite watering holes, Jack Brown's. To say that Jack Brown's has the best burger in the Commonwealth of Virginia, I'm going to catch some heat on this, is a stretch. It's a stretch.
I'm with you there. I've got no problem with that.
It's a damn good burger. It's priced fairly. They have a genius model. No produce that's going to spoil. Paper plates that they can throw away. You don't see any lettuce or tomatoes that are going to go bad. Once they're done with the burger and the crinkle cut fries, all the stuff is thrown away. It's genius. It allows them to run the operation with 1, maybe 2 people in the back of the house, 1, maybe 2 people in the front of the house, right? It's a genius concept.
More than that, but yeah.
It's a genius concept, okay? But to say it's the best burger in all of Virginia is an insult to folks that are making really, really, really good burgers. It's a great value burger. It's tasty. It hits the spot. It's not the best burger in Virginia.
They've gotten a little more expensive.
I mean, you go to McDonald's and you get a Big Mac and fries and a drink and you're spending $14. Big Mac.
I haven't gotten a Big Mac and McDonald's.
Big Mac fries and a drink at McDonald's is $14. That's Jack Brown's.
Yeah, Jack Brown's is like $12.50 for a burger. Then add 3, I think, roughly 3 for fries.
Okay, so I mean, it's a sit-down restaurant.
Yeah, I'm not saying. I'm just saying it's
the cheapest place to eat on the mall, right? Cheapest place to eat in the mall. Vita Nova, the dumpling shop, right?
Yeah, depends what you're eating.
Outside of Vita Nova, the dumpling shop, and Christians, Jack Brown's is right on that next echelon. And that next echelon is what? Jack Brown's and Revolutionary Soup, just to name a few. Props to Angelo and the IBN. Props to Jack Brown's on your award. I ain't throwing shade at you, Jack Brown's. I'm just kind of pushing back on the best burger in the Virginia, okay?
My favorite's the Ron Swanson, I think. But
The what now is your favorite?
The Ron Swanson.
Oh, the Ron Swanson.
It's another good one. But yeah, you're right. I don't know if I would call them the best burger in
I don't
Virginia.
even call it the best burger on the downtown mall.
I mean, personally...
Have you had the CNO burger?
CNO burger? I can't say that I have.
Eat at the downstairs bar at CNO, at Dean Maupin CNO, and eat that burger. Have you had the steakhouse at Citizen Burger Bar? Try the steakhouse.
I may have.
With the crunchy fried onions on top.
No, I haven't done that. Those burgers are hard enough to get in your mouth.
They're
without
more
a stack
gourmet
of-
burgers and they're more expensive, but they're damn good.
I didn't say anything about price.
For the sake of time, we got to go to the next topic because I got a critically important 1:15 conference call. What's the next topic you got?
Let's see, 120 units vacant.
Yeah, this is from Deep Throat. Okay. The Gillikin gang in Livable, Charlottesville. Stephen Johnson and the Gillikin gang at Livable, Charlottesville. They're now trying to infiltrate Albemarle County with their affordability agenda, with their housing socialism. We have so many apartments in the city of Charlottesville and the urban ring right now that are literally sitting vacant that you have to ask yourself how the apartment owners are managing the model. Deep Throat puts in perspective for us the Elysian, whatever the hell this brand is, has 120 units available. Dairy Central, 26 units available, 15 which are totally vacant right now. That's before second years. I was talking with a commercial broker at the locker room at the Boar's Head yesterday. He's sitting over there in his boxer drawers. I'm sitting over there wearing a towel about to hop in the steam room. And we were talking about the glut of luxury apartments that are on the market. And this is before second years are going to be required to live on grounds in a couple years, before 1,300 beds come to market on Stadium Road, and before Greystar finishes its project on Old Ivy Road. And I want somebody to help me understand this. Greystar is going to build 500 plus units off Old Ivy Road. Second years are going to be required to live on grounds. Mm-hmm. And 1,300 beds are being built by Subtex by Scott Stadium. That's all coming on market within the next 36 months. Right now we have a glut. How are we going to meet that demand in 36 months? That's a topic for another day. Deep Throat says this: I need to write some code to scrape and go through these multifamily housing buildings. He also highlights that Rivanna Terrace is almost 20% vacant. I would love if you wrote that code and sent us that data, Deep Throat, and we would highlight the glut of luxury apartment rentals that are currently available. I talked to another heavy hitter. Is he watching the program right now? He is watching the program right now. He said, if you want to get into multifamily housing, you do it Section 8 or workforce housing. We need that in spades. The people that think that they can rent $4,000 a month or $3,000 a month, $3,500 a month apartments are huffing glue, because that customer base will just buy a house and pay a mortgage.
Yeah.
Next topic, Judah B. Wickhauer. What do you got?
Man. If no Scottsville town status is Crozet.
Is this the second to last topic?
Yep.
Is the last topic the Goodyear?
Yep.
All right, I want to leave Scottsville. If Scottsville loses its town status, Mike Pruitt watching the program, this is your district supervisor, Mike Pruitt. There's a contingent in Scottsville that is pushing the shedding of town status. And I'm going to push back on those, the new guard, that are saying, hey, old guard, we need to shed town status, by saying, if you do that, you're going to become Crozet. And you're going to have an old trail ramrodded up where the sun don't shine into your area. And you don't have the infrastructure to support it. You have even less infrastructure, road infrastructure, than Crozet does. I want to save that topic for tomorrow. I got a 1:15 conference call with 3 other people that I have to initiate that I don't want to be late for. I'll close with this, a topic sent to us by Travis Hackworth. 850 people are being laid off this year in Danville, Virginia, at the Goodyear plant. The tire manufacturer is laying off 850 people. Thank your lucky stars every time you hate on the University of Virginia that we have UVA, that we have tourism, that we have the defense sector. Because that employment diversity is creating a strong economy. And that's a point of concern right now in southwestern Virginia at Danville. It's the Wednesday edition of the I Love CVille show. I'm putting my earbuds in and making the phone call. Judah, get me out of here, please.